The story comes up Financial Times. Miami realtors pitch safe spaces for millionaires fleeing Mamdani's New York. I'm coming to you with this one, Barry. So if you want to pull up this video, Rob, I think you got a video on this one here. Let me go to this one. I'll read it, and then we can turn over to the video. So a few days before mayoral election, luxury real estate developers Isaac Toledano joked that a lot of Floridians are going to give Mamdani an award for being the best broker of the year. Toledano is one of several Miami-based developers hoping to cash in on what they anticipate will be an influx of high net worth New Yorkers escaping to the Sunshine State if Democratic Socialist Mamdani wins the city's mayoral race this week. Fears that Mamdani's left-wing policies will drive the wealthy. Rob, do you have a video on this one?
Yep.
Will leave fear that Mamdani's left-wing some of the wealthy New Yorkers have circulated since the 34-year politician unexpectedly clinched the Democratic primary. Billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, who has poured cash into opposing Mamdani's campaign, predicted an exodus of companies and individuals to New York. Go ahead, Rob.
All new at 6, some here in South Florida have their eyes on the race for mayor in New York City.
That was an interesting point. South Florida realtors say they've been contacted by New Yorkers already looking to move to the Sunshine State if self-described Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani is elected mayor of New York City. CBS News Miami's Bree Buckley looks into it.
A lot of people are worried.
Isaac Toledano is the CEO and founder of BH Group Miami, a high-end real estate development firm. He says the race for mayor in New York City could impact South Florida.
We already see a lot of New York buyers and their brokers and agents and representatives already looking to buy real estate and getting information.
His clients say they're worried if self-described Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani is elected mayor that crime will rise as well as taxes. He campaigned to lower the cost of living for the working class, proposing a rent freeze and free bus service, partially funded by raising taxes 2% for top earners. Mamdani has been leading the polls against Republican
because it's official now. So what do you think? You think it's going to be a big net positive for South Florida and Florida in real estate?
I think it will have an influence because of the two things that they were mentioned there. One is obviously taxes do have an impact. We know that, right? In Florida is zero state income tax. And then when you look at the crime, you talked about it earlier. If crime rises and if there's extraordinarily lenient laws towards criminals and you invite more criminals in because of that incentive, there's only so much that people could take because you worry about your safety. I think that could be those two items could be big influencers. And if you have people move down here, right now we have a bit more supply in Florida. So I don't think it would have a big influence on prices immediately. I think it would just stabilize things, maybe some modest gains. But if the trend continued, it could push prices higher here. There's also a lot of development too, so we have to weigh the two against each other.
Tom, what do you think?
So, well, I think there's two things. There's the emotional response on the surveys you see now, and then there's the reality of it. And the reality of it is that what he's doing is going to have an immediate economic impact on New York. The taxes are coming, things are happening. He's really doing things. So it's not just the guy got elected that I don't like, okay, and he's stalemated because the city council's over here and these guys are over here. And then, they get stalemated, just like a president gets stuck. So nothing really changes in your life yet. But what he's talking about is about to change. And I think when people see what's coming to New York and people see the tax rates and they feel the change and they see the businesses that did move out. Remember, elections swing on 4 points in the middle. And right now, there's a swing that's going to happen, and people are going to feel it. So I think they're going to be going. Now, are they going to be? Is it going to be like we saw from? And we remember we've seen this story. We saw it in the stats from U-Haul. U-Haul that was paying college students. I think it was $2,000 for 2 college students to drive a U-Haul from Dallas back to California during spring break. They were saying, hey, spring break job from U-Haul, because they had too many trucks that had come to Texas. And so when you start seeing that, I think it's going to be very, very real. But I think he's going to start doing things on day one. He can't wait. And that, along with that's what's left, that's why I think you're going to see that first wave come. And they're going to come down here. But back to Barry's point, a very good point. I want them Come down here with your roofing business. Come down here with your heating, air conditioning business. We have a shortage. Come down here with your home services businesses. We have shortages. Come down here with your window retrofit businesses. We have shortages of people available to do those jobs, and find affordable housing outside the city areas for your people. That's what I want.
Brandon.
But I think they're going to move. I think it's going to move because he's really going to do stuff.
I think
fast, and
the
they're gonna feel
safety
it.
issue. The safety issue is a big one.
Well, I mean,
That's a big one.
Here's a clip of him talking about letting out prisoners. Go ahead, Rob.
Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence.
So the
That
guy-
is violence of the highest.
So the guy that broke into your house, a home invasion to rob you, that's artificial.
Yeah, that's why I mean the safety issue. I think that's what really speaks to people that would drive them to me. Money is important, but your safety, that can be a very visceral response that we got to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, look at what COVID. What was the reason COVID? We had such a reaction to it. You stay home and don't take your kids to school. Excuse me, I'm out of here. Right? So was it that? Was it the vaccine? Was it the force? Probably a lot of it was combined, but one of it was, your kids can't go to school. Let me go to a place where my kids can't go to school. I'm gonna go to Florida. I'm gonna go to a different place.
And by the way, the number of votes that Cuomo got, I'm not saying that people are going to the polls saying, "Oh, Cuomo." Yeah, I think it was hold my nose, and it's not a vote for Cuomo. It's a vote that I can't risk having Mamdani.
Yeah. Brandon.
This is going to be bad for Florida. I mean, there's only 220,000 open homes for sale right now, and then there's 385,000 millionaires in New York. Like right now, it's insane. Like look at $1 million house down the street from here, or any average looking house. It's like $1 million, and then for 500,000, you get a concrete box. So no, I think this between cutting rates and this, it's going to be a bad situation in Florida for real estate.
Yeah. So you think cutting rates? And so what you're saying is,
Yeah,
the
vehemently.
market's going to go up. Valuation's going to go
How
up.
could it not? I mean, it's like every single time we cut rates, price of houses and asset prices go up. I mean, it's like a law of nature.
Okay. So how do you feel about that? What do you think about what he's saying?
I see it differently. I think that across the United States, you have about 67% of people own homes. So prices going up is a good thing. And of the remaining 33%, at least half of those are not in a position where they're going to be truly in even the market to buy a home. The 16-year-old working at Wendy's, God bless them, but they're not truly in the market to purchase a home. And there's many people that would not be in that position. So how much does home price increases impact those adversely? I think it's a zero-sum game. Some people it benefits, some people it doesn't. But I think it benefits many more people. It benefits the economy. Look, home price appreciation is a magical elixir because what it does is it creates wealth. It creates equity. In fact, there's a chart that you could see that I brought with me that shows that if you took a look at net worth and what it takes to be in the net worth category, it's probably near the end there, Rob, and you'll see for net worth, there's a couple of things I'd love to show. Last slide, Rob. If you pull that up, you can see what it takes to be in the top tier in the United States. You need top 1% as big number, 11.6 million, and you can see the tiers. But the real key factor is 2/3 of all net worth come from home equity. It is very hard to create wealth without being in the real estate game. And the average homeowner's net worth is 44 times that of a renter. Now, let me tell you, as somebody who's lived through downturns in real estate, I know people wish for it and people say, oh, we need prices to come down. That is a very, very difficult scenario to go through because from a mortgage side, you can't get a mortgage easily because the appraisers put something called a negative time adjustment. So you say, okay, I could do it with 5% down or 10% down, but the appraiser says this property is going to decline because home prices are coming down. So you need to put 15%, 18%, 20% down because we're anticipating the price to decline. Makes it very, very difficult. Lenders tighten up. The whole market seizes, and then people don't want to buy a home if they see prices coming down. They're afraid. It's just like the stock market. People buy more stocks as it's going up. People should be buying when it comes down. They don't, right? It's the only things that when they go on sale, people don't want them is real estate and stocks, right? So what happens is that psychology, it materializes through the economy in general, and it slows the economy dramatically. And then think about home equity. Home equity is something that is also magical. You could pull on it. You could pay off your debt burden. You can invest with that money. When you sell your home, it could be your retirement plan. So look, while I completely get what you're saying, and you're 100% right, we don't want runaway appreciation. But I think to see prices come down would probably be worse than that.
But we're not in a sustainable place right now where it's like, we talk about all the time in the 70s, it was 2.5 years of an average salary to buy an average priced house. Today, it's like 8 or 9 years of an average salary to buy an average priced house. And I see what you're saying about the 65% that own houses in the country, but I think you're overlooking the core part of the economy, people ages maybe like 20 to 40 who are looking to buy a house it's a stretch to buy an average priced house right now for a lot of those people. So is that a healthy place to be in where the core of your economy, like the young to mid-aged people can't afford to buy a house?
It's clearly a problem because what has happened. So you're right there. That it's clearly a problem because it used to be the median age of a first-time home buyer was between 32 and 33 years old. Today that's gone to 40.
Yeah.
However, there's only 3 levers you could pull for affordability, right? This is not a magic formula. Prices come down, which I just explained why that's not good. The second is interest rates come down. And remember, we have had quite the shock going from very low rates at around 3 up to 8, now back in this, let's call it 6.5-ish range, 6.25. So, there's been quite the shock there, along with prices rising. The third is time. And the reason why time is because incomes do rise over time. You don't need all of your
Not the
income.
same pace, though.
You don't need it at the same pace because you don't use 100% of your income. You can't do the simple mathematical equation and say, okay, so incomes are rising at 4.6% or 4.7%. We just got these numbers this morning from ADP. And home prices are rising at the same level, so you're not gaining ground. You are gaining ground because you only use 1/3 of your income. So that additional disposable income actually helps you gain traction. The math isn't a 1-for-1. If you get, for example, 2% rise in income, you can withstand a 4% price rise and still be neutral because of the relative difference and you don't use all your
Talking about
income.
like the time decay of the mortgage where you're paying less over
No,
time?
it's just that when you figure out your allocation of your income, you're only using, let's call it 30% of your income to purchase a home on your mortgage or home payment. So you don't need, you get 5% gain on overall income. That's more than what you need for the increase in home value.
Yeah, but how do you apply that to back in the day though, where like I said, it's 2.5 times your income versus 8 times your income?
Okay, so
you don't get as much house as you used to.
But you always have to be careful when dealing with medians. Medians is a very dangerous game to play because once again, if you look at median income of everyone, that's one thing. But if you say of those who are actually able to buy a home, let's exclude the 16-year-olds, let's exclude the 19-year-olds, then the median income becomes much greater when you say those who are actually qualified. I'm completely in agreement that affordability has gotten worse. What I'm saying is there's a lot of clickbait out there that make the picture look a lot worse than it truly is.
2026 is around the corner. Craziness is going on. For some of you guys that have big plans for 2026, I will remind you, whatever you do, do not go into 2026 without a business plan. It'll be a big mistake you're making. There are way too many moving parts. Every year when we do the business planning workshop, I openly talk about what threats and events we're concerned about happening the next year. We openly share with you, here's what we're looking at. Here's what we're seeing as possible enemy. And here's what we're seeing as an operator, the opportunities that exist for us. And we openly share it with you. We share with you how we're growing our YouTube channel and our media company, what our consulting firm is going. We're sharing our strategies with you. If you're somebody watching and saying, I'm sick and tired of playing small, I want to take my life and my business to the next level, the business planning workshop on December 12th is for you. But number 2, if you're somebody that's running a business and you are already a millionaire, we have a lot of people that watch this content. You're doing 10 million a year, 100 million a year. Maybe you're doing a billion a year. You got a couple thousand employees, but you've gotten to a point where you're bored and it's repetitive. And it's just kind of like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. This is a very, very good event to even wake you up as a leader of the company. So quietly, you can kind of get on the business planning workshop. It's not something that you have to be physically here from anywhere in the world. So if you haven't yet registered yet, click on a link below. Get registered. December 12th, let's spend an entire day together. We go through a 200-page manual together, which everybody will get. Or you can go to bpw.betdavidconsulting.com. Again, bpw.betdavidconsulting.com. realtors.com. Looking forward to seeing you guys there on December 12th. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.